I want to speak to anxiety and what it literally is from an emotion standpoint. For all of my very literal learners out there, visual learners, sometimes it can be incredibly helpful and even like healing to understand what something literally is. So let's get to it. Using Dr. Plutchik's emotion theory, which posits that there are 8 primary emotions that humans experience in their emotion profile. Those 8 primary emotions can combine to form secondary emotions. So anxiety is a secondary emotion, which is the combination of fear and anticipation. So let's just talk about those two really quick to see if we can kind of understand and get to, oh yeah, that is anxiety. Fear is a response to threats. Both anger and fear respond to threats, but fear is the route that is taken when we subconsciously perceive ourselves as not able to address whatever it is that's being perceived as a threat. And if we're not able to address it, we then elect to avoid it. So fear is avoiding, hiding from, distracting from the threat, while anger is to attack it, to confront it, to be big, to be loud against the threat. So fear is to remove yourself, to hide away from it. Now, anticipation. Anticipation and surprise, those two emotions deal with new territory. Think like change, new things coming, some unexpected thing is going to impact your life. And both of those emotions give you energy to try and orient to whatever is new, orient to that change. The difference between them is anticipation orients to change that is coming, and surprise orients to change that has happened. So anticipation gives us energy to rehearse, to analyze, and to orient to whatever this thing is that is coming. Now, of the 8 primary emotions, the one that, just from an experiential standpoint, lasts the longest is anticipation. The rest of the emotions sometimes are very quick, just a matter of seconds, sometimes longer, sometimes quite a bit longer, but anticipation, just from the basis, is an emotion that is experienced for the longest amount of time because it deals with something that is in the future. You know, anger and fear deal with threats that are usually right at hand. Surprise deals with change that has already come. Joy and sadness orient to an event that has already happened, whether you've gained or lost possession of something you value. Trust and disgust are an immediate assessment of something or someone's values, but anticipation is looking at something that literally is not here right now. It's looking into the future, and it's trying to assess and prepare for that. So it is experienced over a longer period of time because it literally deals with something that is not present. Okay, so there is fear and anticipation. Now those combine to make anxiety. So anxiety is something is being registered in your mind as a threat. And subconsciously, you don't believe that you have the ability to address that threat, and so you are instead electing to avoid it or to hide from it. But that threat is not present, it is in the future, because anticipation senses that threat is not here, but it is in the future. So rather than feeling a fear response just very immediate to some threat, you instead are feeling a prolonged fear response as you are anticipating a threat that is coming and that will impact you. And so you have the energy to try and rehearse and orient to that, but that is combining with kind of the unpleasant sensation that fear gives us. Fear is not a pleasant sensation. Pain is not a pleasant sensation, but we are given unpleasant sensations to fix them. We experience that because it's literally our body telling us, hey, change this because it's damaging us. That's why we feel pain. That's why fear is an unpleasant experience. While joy is a very pleasant experience because it's trying to affirm what is happening and saying, hey, we like this and we want you to do it more. Fear, on the other hand, is the opposite, saying, hey, we don't like this, get away from it. So here into your body is a rush of chemicals and energy that is unpleasant. But when you combine that with anticipation, it stretches out that unpleasant experience. And that's what anxiety is. It is a prolonged fear response, and it is that unpleasant sensation as we are trying to anticipate and orient to a perceived threat that is not here yet. And often those fears that we are anticipating will never come. Anxiety quite often deals with perceived threats that are not real, and they will never manifest. They will never actually metastasize into your life. And so you will go on feeling that prolonged fear response until you consciously intervene. You have to consciously communicate with your subconscious. You have to tell it things different from what it is instinctually spitting out. You have to interrupt the appraisal of that initial emotion with thoughts that reinforce something else. I hope that helps a little bit for my little visual learners out there.